Here now, Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, who herself has to tackle a burgeoning fentanyl crisis and even new Frankenstein opioids there. General, great to see you. I don't think that former DEA agent was angry enough, given the fact that the border's wide open. China and the drug cartels are killing 100,000 plus Americans every year, and the Democrats don't seem to give a flying damn about it because they're not doing anything about it. Pardon my language.
Well, you know, what's frustrating is that the numbers have been going up and up. We started shining a light on the breakdown of security at our border month one of the Biden administration. In fact, we were the first to sue when they started releasing people that were here illegally back into our communities that were committing crimes. We've also just gone to trial. We were the first to go to trial on the Biden administration refusing to follow the law and just catching and releasing, allowing millions to pour into this country. And what has that done? That has unleashed a surge of crime, of trafficking, of deadly fentanyl. And it is, and you are right, Dagan, it is not me, it is the law enforcement officers I work with throughout this state that are left to fight back and push back against this overwhelming surge of fentanyl and other crime into our state. In fact, just last week, I stood with a sheriff and announced a takedown of a gang that was selling poison in our community, fentanyl, drug violence, you know. The idea that violence is in no way associated with drug trafficking and drug sales and fentanyl, it's a farce. It's a narrative that needs to be stomped out. And obviously, as Attorney General, we'll keep fighting here in Florida. As you know, the fastest growing demographic of those dying of overdose, we already know 18 to 45, it's the #1 killer, overdose deaths. The fastest growing demographic, ages 5 to 14. My heart was broken listening to that mother testify.
You know, Ashley, it's China and cartels that are killing our kids. And I look at the cartels, they behead people, they hang people from bridges, they torture people. So they don't care about killing our kids. I wonder why Democrats aren't more outraged to go, you know what, you will get the death penalty if you sell this poison to American youth or anybody in our country, that they're not more outraged because people are dying. Any idea why they have such a soft approach to this crisis in the country?
It's absolutely an insane approach, and that's why you're seeing a proliferation of crime in so many areas where Democrats and radical rogue prosecutors are leading. Look, I was a federal prosecutor. I went after these cartels. I can tell you stories of torture while people were alive. It's unbelievable, the pain and trauma these folks inflict in our communities. And I'm telling you what, there's been no bigger benefactor to the cartels than Biden and his policies. We're left, the law enforcement in these states and our local communities are doing their best to protect their communities that they love, but they need help. They need policy changes. And I know these hearings are important and we want to get to the bottom of things. I've been uncovering information about this administration and what they've been trying to do behind the backs of the American people since they took office. But it's time to act. Act on the border. Put more money, put more law enforcement, be decisive, be determined. You know, all these hearings, it's a lot of dancings. We need more doing.
General, Merrick Garland, speaking of hearings, defending the Department of Justice, prosecuting more pro-life protesters than those firebombing pregnancy resource centers. And listen to the excuse.
There are many more prosecutions with respect to the blocking of the abortion centers, but that is generally because those actions are taken with photography at the time, during the daylight, and seeing the person who did it is quite easy. Those who are attacking the pregnancy resources centers, which is a horrid thing to do, are doing this at night. In the dark. We will prosecute every case against a pregnancy resource center that we can make. But these people who are doing this are clever and are doing it in secret.
They cannot prosecute people who, there have been 18 attacks on pro-life centers by the radical abortion group Jane's Revenge, but they can't prosecute cases because they happen at night.
We're coming up on a year since the first firebombing of a pregnancy resource center. And, you know, I hear they're doing this in secret. You know, they're admitting what they're doing. They've said that they're operating cells around the nation. They sign their name to the threats. Jane's Revenge. Right here in Florida, we had someone say, if abortions aren't safe, you're not safe. I mean, it's a threat. They sign it. They're doing this online. There are so many things that you can do to investigate this as a whole. Now think about this. They're operating throughout the nation. You could bring this, it clearly is a conspiracy. There's multiple acts, and we're coming up on a year. There's been 18 incidents, 0 arrests. You know, again, I'm a former federal prosecutor. If you put the right experts on this, the right investigators, in a year with 18 incidents that they're admitting that they're signing their name to, we should have more progress. And again, this goes back to the border. It appears there is crime that this administration is willing to not be concerned with if it falls in line with an agenda that they support. You know, look at this. We'll go after a crime if your name is Trump and you may have classified documents, but not always. You know, we may overlook riots or Jane's Revenge or you name it, and it's a disparity. And why is that concerning? Why should that be concerning to everyone, every American, regardless of whether you're a Republican, an independent, Democrat? Because for this great country to endure, we must have faith that this is a government for and by the people, not for and by a party. It's so important.
Garland doesn't prosecute because he doesn't want to prosecute. Simple as that. Attorney General Ashley Moody, thank you for joining us.
Great to be with you.